Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing great. In today's video, we will learn something different. We will learn about written communications or writing skills. I have made a video previously about communications. What is communication? Why do we need effective communication? And what are the types of communication? I will link that video up here. Anyone who hasn't watched that video can go and watch that later. So today we will be learning about written communications. I'm going to cover the very basics of written communications or writing skills. What do you need to have effective written communication or good writing skills? The very basics. I'm going to cover very simple things today. So let's move ahead and start today's topic. Now let me just briefly tell you about communications. What is communication? So communication is basically interchange of thoughts, ideas, messages as well as information through speech, through signals, through writing or words and behavior. So it is a way or method of using words through which we can communicate in a very effective manner, be it through speech or through writing. So today we will be covering the very basics of written communication or some basics of writing skills. So I have put together few points that you can easily remember since you want to get better at writing. So the first thing and the most important thing about writing any material, any kind of material that you're going to write. For example, if you're in a school, if you're a student, if you're writing an essay or a dissertation or a project, okay, if you're working, then you must be writing a lot of drafts, reports, emails, messages, memos, and etc. etc. So many types of written materials. If you're in the press industry where you write a lot of articles, if you're a blogger, you're writing blogs about certain topics. So all of you who are into writing should always remember the very basics is that it needs to have three parts. Your material needs to be divided into three parts, three broad categories. The first will be your introduction. The second will be the body, the main topic that you're going to cover. And the last part will be your conclusion. Now I will come to what will come in the body later. So first thing that you need to remember is it needs to have a good introduction, so your reader will understand what is there in that topic, what they are going to read. So it is going to be a brief description about the topic that you are going to write about. Second part is the body, where you're going to put in all the details, the facts, the diagrams or drawings if you require to put in, pictures if you need to add. So everything related to the topic you are writing, every single detail you're going to put in the body of the material. All of these details you need to put in the body part of the material that you're going to write. And the third part will be the conclusion. You're going to sum up what you have written about very briefly. So the introduction and the conclusion are going to be concise, short and very brief. Okay, I will tell you all these things in a bit detail later. Okay, so let's move ahead and learn the other important things that we need to understand before writing anything. Okay, the second thing that you need to remember is that you need to have correct grammar in your material. Second is punctuation. You need to use the right punctuation at the right place, whether it is a comma or a full stop or an apostrophe. Okay, so all these punctuations are needed to be used very correctly. And the third important thing is the spelling of words. You need to be very particular about writing the correct spelling. If you need help, you can use a dictionary or you could just Google it, but be sure that you are writing the correct words, the correct spelling of the words. Okay, the next important thing you need to take care of is about being clear or having clarity in your writing. Whatever you are writing, you need to be clear about it first. You need to do your research, your background check, your facts very clear, so that your reader gets a very clear idea about the topic. So you have to be very clear. You have to maintain clarity in your writing. You need to be very clear about things that you're writing in your material. Another thing you need to keep in mind is that keep your material, your writing, words, your sentences and everything, you need to be very simple and concise. You have to write it very simply so your reader can understand. You can go ahead and use advanced words if your target audience is that learned, are that capable of understanding. If you're writing for a particular group of audience who is very well versed with the language, whether you are writing in English or any other language, if you are very well versed with that language and you're writing for that particular audience, then please go ahead and you can use words of your choice. But I would suggest, if you're writing for general public, you should use simple words which is understandable by every category of people. We need to write in very simple words and simple sentences so that everybody can understand, whether that person is a beginner or that person is quite well advanced in that language. Like I mentioned, you have to use correct grammar, so you need to understand your grammar very well. So before writing it down, you need to check it. You need to understand if you're writing it correctly. Same goes with the spelling of the words. You have to check the correct spelling of the words. So these are very important things you need to remember. Next comes the punctuation. Like I've mentioned, that you need to use the correct punctuations in your material. Where you have to add a question mark, where you're going to use an exclamatory sign, where you're going to use a comma or a full stop. So you have to keep in mind all these things while writing. Another thing you need to remember is that your material or your topic that you're writing needs to be concise. It shouldn't be too short or too lengthy. You have to keep it to the point. So you have to keep it very brief and concise. Okay, it shouldn't be too short that people won't understand what it means, or it shouldn't be too lengthy that it gets boring or tedious for people to read it. Okay, now moving on to the next point. Now the very important thing that you need to understand is that you have to be very particular about what you are writing. You have to check your facts. You cannot write opinions, because if you're writing an important email or you're writing an important report, you need to be very particular about the facts that you're putting. If you're putting numbers, or if you're putting some facts, you need to check it properly before writing it. Okay, so make sure you're doing your research well before writing. Moving on to the next point. Now, like I said, that you have to write your material in 3 parts: the introduction, the body and the conclusion part. Okay, so when you're writing your body, if it's a topic that requires subheadings, you need to add subheadings. If you need to add points, I would suggest you to use bullet points or number the points. Okay, so it gets more easier to read and understand for the reader. Okay, you can also separate your topic into different paragraphs. Structure your material. It is very important to have an organized and well structured material. So keep in mind that when you're writing, you have to organize your topic. You have to use headings and subheadings, to bullet points or numberings, to make it more clear. Let's look at the next point. Another important thing is, whatever you're writing, the topic, it needs to be relevant. the information that you're giving needs to be connected with the topic, needs to have some sort of relevance, some sort of connection with the topic, so it makes sense. So you need to understand this while writing. While writing, like I said, use simple words, don't use too many technical words or jargons. If you are writing for an audience, maybe your office or work, who understand those jargons, you can go ahead and use those jargons and technical words. Otherwise, try and avoid using those words. So keep the words simple. So these were some of the points that you need to remember while writing or before writing. You need to have this very basic idea about writing. So this is how you can improve your writing skills. You need to be very organized. Our thoughts need to be put on a paper, so we need to put it in an organized manner. Okay, so it needs to be written as such that the reader understands exactly what you're trying to convey. So that's how you can become better at writing. So these are some of the very basic points that you need to remember when you're trying to write. I would suggest, if you have never written anything or you want to write better, start by journaling. Journaling is a very simple and easy way to learn writing, get better at writing. So use a personal journal. You can jot down all your day-to-day activities at the end of the day or in the beginning of the day. So you will start getting better. I hope you understood all these points. I hope this what I've given you, these pointers are helpful to you, will be valuable to you. I will give you more details about writing and writing skills and types of writing and different types of written communications in my upcoming videos. So stay tuned, keep watching my videos. I will come up with more informational videos like these. Until then, keep practicing, keep learning, and keep growing. See you soon in my next video. Until then, take care and goodbye.